Ohayou gozaimasu. Today we'll be diving into Dagath. I'll show you how you can crowd control, armor strip, and nuke your enemies, all without using a single forma. That said, planning a zero forma build wasn't easy, but after plenty of testing, I can proudly say that the build is 100% steelpath viable, and I hope you'll love it as much as I do. So, stick around and I'll guide you through everything you need to know about Dagath, including how to one-tap acolytes. Her first ability summons 7 sickles that spins around her before shooting out. Enemies hit by this are slowed and get viral procced. Her first ability is good for crowd control, and also spreads the effect of Doom. Now you might be wondering, what is Doom? Doom is Dagath's second ability. Casting 2 will doom enemies in a cone shape. The damage that doomed enemies take will be dealt to them a second time by a scythe after a short delay. However, if the scythe's damage is enough to kill the enemy, the scythe will go for the kill straight away instead of waiting for the duration of the delay. This is Dagath's most important ability. Her third ability is a buff that gives Dagath's weapons more critical damage. The effect is doubled on doomed enemies. It has infinite duration and remains active indefinitely until Dagath suffers a lethal hit. When Dagath suffers a lethal hit, she becomes invulnerable for 10 seconds. Enemies killed during this time will drop a guaranteed health orb. The ability then enters a cooldown of 25 seconds before it can be recast. You want to always cast this at the start of the mission. Her fourth ability summons 5 horses that will charge forward and deal damage to enemies. Dagath gets iframes and is invulnerable while casting this ability. The horses are even able to run up slopes and run through walls. Now this ability on its own doesn't do much damage. However, if used on Doom enemies, it will remove a portion of their shields and armor before dealing damage. Together with Doom, this ability lets you nuke steelpath enemies with ease. But wait, there's more. Her horses do damage each interval and continues for as long as enemies remain in physical contact with the horse. To add to that, the horses are able to damage enemies while they are spawning. Therefore, if you spawn the horse in the enemy's face, each horse hits about 6 times per second. This makes for some crazy damage output. If you need to take down a particularly tanky enemy, like an Eximus or an Acolyte, simply get in range of them, then spawn the horse right on top of them. This melts almost anything in base steelpath. As powerful as her fourth ability is, Dagath is not a one-trick pony that relies on her fourth ability to kill. Using her first 3 abilities, Dagath is able to deal crazy amounts of damage by buffing her weapons. In this clip here, we're able to see a huge increase in damage by using her abilities. This is the build we will be using, and it requires 0 forma. But do note that this was not made with endurance runs in mind. We use streamline and fleeting expertise, so that we get max efficiency. But since efficiency caps out at 175%, we keep fleeting expertise at rank 4. However, if you only have a max ranked fleeting expertise, then feel free to use that instead. You don't need that much duration on a nuke build, because your Doom debuff doesn't need to last very long, as you'll be constantly killing them almost right after they get doomed. Together with Flow, we are able to freely spam her horses. The other mod that allows us to spam our horses is Natural Talent. This mod increases our casting speed significantly, and is a must-have if you plan on using her fourth ability often. Her fourth ability takes a really long time to cast, and using Natural Talent allows for a better and smoother gameplay. We use Brief Respite in the aura slot, as it matches the innate polarity of the aura slot. Coupled with catalyzing shields, we are able to shield gate for survivability, as we get a 1.33 second invulnerability window every time our shield breaks. We also regenerate shields whenever we cast our abilities thanks to brief respite. Along with 2 auger mods on your pistol, you are able to fully restore your shields in a single cast of her 4th ability. Remember that Dagath is also invulnerable while casting her 4th ability, making it an amazing ability to spam for both damage and survivability. For extra survivability, I like to run Arcane Aegis. Upon getting hit, you have a chance of getting a 30% shield recharge for 12 seconds. This arcane essentially makes you almost unkillable when it activates. The Stretch mod is used to increase our ability range, and Continuity gives us more ability duration. Umbral Intensify gives us all the ability strength we need for Armor Strip. Enemy defenses are fully removed at 286% ability strength from a single hit of cavalry. However, because the cavalry deals multiple instances of damage, far less strength is necessary. We only need 143% ability strength to fully remove defenses after 2 hits. For the other arcane slot, you can use Arcane Energize for a comfortable supply of energy. That being said, if you do not have Arcane Energize, you can always just use the Zeneric Focus School. I did many steelpath survival runs using this build without Arcane Energize, and I seldom ran out of energy thanks to Zeneric. This is the full build once again, and I really hope that this video helped you. Also, I'll be making many more Zero Forma steelpath builds. And if you're like me, who's got a bunch of unformed Warframes just collecting dust, then I'm sure you'll love the upcoming Zero Forma builds as much as I do. Simply slap the build on, and you can experience the joy of playing many Warframes without needing to invest a single forma. So hit that subscribe button, and you won't ever miss out on these exciting builds. Let's make the most of our Warframe arsenals without the forma grind. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. ご視聴いただきありがとうございました。さようなら。